All right, welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems. When it comes to security systems, folks, there's nobody better in East Tennessee than Safety Systems. They've been doing this for nearly 20 years. Family-owned, locally owned. VFL J.J. Surlis is the guy to call, former teammate of Mike and Sterling over there. They do all the options they provide for you, the installation, the service, the local monitoring. You just can't beat it. Safety Systems, that's who you need to call. Better deal than you'll get from anyone else in East Tennessee. Trust me on that. I use them myself. All right, this is our second guesses segment, and I think it's a good one today because I'm going to second guess the decision to go to Maurer and then go back to Garantano. Personally, and we'll see where you guys, I know that Pruitt said he was doing it to settle Garantano down, or Garantano down. I don't know that. I think you've opened up Pandora's box now. You've got a quarterback controversy, whether he wants to say it or not. Again, we're 1 week from him kind of scolding the media and poking fun at the media.
Exactly.
We don't worry about what you think of our quarterback. He's our guy. And then 1 half later, He's not our guy anymore. But anyway, I thought that to make that move, if you're doing it and saying, all right, we're going to lose with the veterans' mistakes. If you're saying, let's go ahead and just lose with the rookie's mistake and let him grow up, and next year when everybody's better, we're not going to have to worry about it, I'm okay with that. Then just ride with it. I didn't understand going back to Garantano. Because now, what message did you send to both those guys? I don't think it helped Garantano, and I would have told you beforehand, I don't think that's going to help Garantano. And I don't know that it helped Maurer to put him in and then say, well, you made mistakes, go sit back down. I just didn't like it. That's my second guess. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did you have thoughts on that flip-flop?
I'm agreeing with your second guess. I wouldn't have flip-flopped it. I'd have just left Maurer out there and let it go. And I've already seen this morning a lot of people saying, well, he's got to start against Georgia. Really? I mean, do you want to destroy him right off the bat too? But I would have left him out there and let him play the rest of the game. Didn't seem like Tennessee was going anywhere. I disagreed with pulling Garantano first
place.
But putting him back, didn't agree with that either.
At least the results show Garantano came back in and they drove down the field. Now they quickly fumble the football. So I guess my point would be it's not a great answer for you for this segment, but it's kind of the whatever because.
Well, see, that's where I am. Once you do it, I just you rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah, and my point is not whatever because you're going to lose. My point is because either Garantano or Maurer or an offensive lineman or a running back, somebody's going to screw something up, and your offensive drive is going to stall out. So I guess to see how Garantano responds before you get ready for the next game.
By the way, a little later in the show, we're going to show you, gone back through UT's drive charts for the entire season. Stunning numbers. A number so bad I've never seen it in the SEC before. So we'll show you that later. Guys, you didn't seem to have a problem with putting Maurer in. You were surprised by it.
Surprised.
Were you bothered with going back and forth?
I think what you did was you hurt the confidence of both quarterbacks. You hurt Garantano's when you benched him. I also thought it was interesting that couldn't you have settled Garantano down at halftime?
Yeah.
Rather than wait to put somebody else in to replace him. So I thought that was interesting, but I think you probably hurt Garantano's confidence going forward. I did ask him about his confidence after Chattanooga BYU game. Yeah. And he said, I wasn't raised that way, but then he said, hey, I got my confidence back from the Chattanooga game. So I'm not sure
against Chattanooga.
What he meant by that. But I think you not only have you hurt the confidence of both, you've opened, as you said, the Pandora's box. Who's going to be your quarterback going forward?
And for those of us that watched the game, what are you trying to settle down? I mean, was Garantano so hyped up and so fired up? Hey, you need to settle down here and make better decisions. To me, you're trying to fire him up. You make the change because you're trying to fire him up, not settle him down.
Well, interestingly, that's what he said, settle him down. But he also said, at some point, you need to take the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
So maybe he just screwed up his phraseology.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was trying to change his mindset one way or the other. But haven't we seen enough of Jarrett Garantano at this point to know what his mindset is?
Yeah, and you've been shut out in the first half, and I think it was not a panic hire, but a decision, but it's close to it. Maurer was 4 of 11 for what, guys? 44 yards.
We'll show that later.
Yeah, and I think Pruitt made the decision when he threw into like triple coverage, and he thought he had a skinny post open for a touchdown, and he didn't like that decision. So then he goes back to Garantano. So.
Well, then you kind of just, if you're going to be one of these guys, that you're going to I'll put you in, you make a mistake, I'll put you in.
Yeah.
never works.
Well, here's the.
It never works.
We talked on the phone right after that, and my thought was, did he think Maurer was going to go in and play a clean game?
Yeah.
All they have been saying, we don't have any competition. This guy is. These guys aren't ready. So now you put him in the swamp, and you expect him to be perfect? There's a lot of mixed messages coming out of there at this point. Does Maurer give them the better chance to win than Garantano? And granted, I think the answer may be it's 0-0. I don't know, but does Maurer give them a better chance than Garantano? A lot of fans say yes.
I don't think so. I still think he's got to look, and I'm not saying Garantano's played well at all. He hasn't. Everybody knows that. But I still think that at least he's got some record he can go back to where he's played well in some games. I think if you throw Maurer in there against Georgia, you're not only running the risk of hurting his confidence, but you're also running the risk of him throwing a bunch of interceptions and getting eaten alive.
The answer is for Garantano to raise the level of his play, to play like he has before.
He hasn't played the same since the hit against Missouri.
And we've been.
And that might have been just the culmination of 500 brutal hits that he's taken, because he took a lot last year. He threw 2 interceptions the entire season before that Missouri game. He gets knocked out of that Missouri game. He comes back. He's thrown 5 picks in 5 games since. He hasn't been as decisive with the ball. He hasn't looked as confident with the ball.
Exactly.
To me, you can draw a straight line back to that hit in that game and say something changed here.
Well, he took another one of those runaway train hits yesterday.
And completed
But
the pass.
completed
Great
Completed
throw.
the pass.
Best throw of the day.
Too.
Yeah.
So,
He may be better when he didn't
I
get
was
it.
over there talking to Sterling a little bit, and I said, could it possibly be he's just finally gotten shell-shocked? You don't get hit like that every play. You may not get hit like that every game, but every time you drop back, you're sitting there thinking, where are they coming from and what are they going to do to
I
him?
had somebody send me a tweet yesterday, and I agreed completely. David Carr, Tim Couch.
Yeah.
We've seen this in the pros.
And there's too much you hear from teammates. He can't let go of a bad play. That he's and you have to. Quarterback's got to have the shortest memory of anybody out there.
We got to move on. I want to get the players' take on this. Let's bring them in and see what the team they would think about a quarterback switch at this point. And we'll get Sterling's take on Brian Maurer. Come on back.
Not always what you want to hear, but exactly what you need to hear. This is the Sports Source.